listen to their vision, their mission, and see if it aligns with your mission, your vision, and what God has called you to. Don't be so quick to just say, oh, I'm going to seminary, and I'm just going to go to this seminary. No, actually do the work that your soul must have. Do the work in learning about the seminary, and do the work in learning about your ministry and what God has called you to. Amen? Not sure. All right, so I'm not going to put on the program. We have our order of guest seminaries listed in our bulletin. We will start with Mr. Antonio from Yale. He will come up. We ask each seminary to give us 5 or 7 minutes overview of your seminary, and then we'll go from there. After each seminary present, we will then be followed with question and answers. All right? All right, so Mr. Antonio.
All right, good morning. Thank you so much to Dean Guidry for hosting us and Mr. Jaquel for that warm welcome. So my name is Antonio Bravo, and I serve as the Assistant Director of Admissions and Recruitment at Yale Divinity School. I'm also an alum of Yale Divinity School. I graduated from the Master of Arts in Religion program in 2016. So I can offer you both perspectives as a staff member and as a former student. At Yale Divinity School, we are a place where we inspire the minds and inspire the world. And I think that fits well with what I saw in the Spelman area that has a choice to change the world. So you can make that choice and come to Yale Divinity School and be formed and be able to study with the best and the brightest, and also to be spiritually enriched in your tradition, but also to be challenged. Yale Divinity School is an interdenominational, ecumenical, non-sectarian space where we have denominational advisors to help guide you through the potential ordination process should you seek formal ordained parish ministry and ordination. But we also have a variety of nonprofit leaders and business leaders that come and speak to our students about bivocationality and transformational leadership outside the four walls of the church. So we are a place where we're envisioning what ministry will look like further on in the decades to come. We all know that mainline traditional denominations have seen a bit of decline in membership, so we are investing in preparing for the next generation of faith leaders and leaders who are spiritually formed and undergirded in theology. So just a little bit about our programs. We have 3 main programs at Yale Divinity School: a Master of Arts in Religion, a Master of Divinity, and a Master of Sacred Theology. Within the Master of Arts in Religion, there are 16 different concentrations. So if you're interested in preparing for doctoral studies, potentially consider an MAR concentration, because you'll be learning from some of the best faculty in the world and building rapport and building networks for potential doctoral applications. Just this last year, we were able to place 82% of our students that applied for PhDs into doctoral programs. So we all know how competitive PhD application seasons are becoming. We're just quite proud of the students, and we're able to support them in that endeavor to help them achieve their goals of becoming academics. Beyond that, we have our Master of Divinity, of course, 3 years, 72 credit, fieldwork components where you're able to participate in supervised ministry or clinical pastoral education throughout New England or across the world. We have students that have done placements in South Africa, in Spain, in El Salvador, in Portugal, and we're always looking for students to help cultivate new placements. So we invite you to be bold and be imaginative and work with our office to create new placements. As far as financial aid is concerned, it's another big area of improvement at Yale Divinity School since my time as a student. Apart from the physical changes of the school, there's been a new emphasis placed on supporting students financially. So all students who apply to Yale Divinity School and have any kind of financial need are awarded full tuition scholarships plus a small stipend. And that's not to mention we also have merit scholarships, and everybody who applies for admission to Yale Divinity School is automatically considered for a merit scholarship, and those cover full tuition as well as a $6,000 to $10,000 living stipend. So financially, the school is investing in students and ensuring that they're able to pursue their vocations with as minimal educational debt as possible. And of course, our supervised ministry placements and CPE are also supported. And to the tune of $5,000 per placement. We are also blessed to have a variety of joint degree programs, so if you're interested in pursuing a JD MAR or a JD MDiv at the #1 law school in the country, consider applying to Yale Divinity School and Yale Law School. We have a number of students that will matriculate at the Divinity School and then apply to law school as well after they've kind of built up some relationships, taken courses at Yale Law School, and positioned themselves to be strong applicants. Beyond the joint law degree, we also have a medical joint degree, nursing, social work, environmental studies, and public health as well. So a variety of opportunities, and we encourage our students to take courses outside of Yale Divinity School to really broaden their educational horizons and have a well-rounded experience. As far as student life is concerned, Marquand Chapel is a huge component of Yale Divinity School student life. Every day that classes meet, chapel meets for about a half an hour, and it's an experimental, ecumenical space where all gifts are welcome. Students will preach, will sing, will lead prayers, will offer interpretive dances, will offer prayer stations as well. So it's a space where students can really practice ministry in a live setting and hone their skills. And there's support there for students who are chapel ministers financially, as well as a credit component as well. And lastly, an exciting new event that's on the horizon at Yale Divinity School is the Living Village Complex. So for students that are interested in applying to the Divinity School this coming year and the following years, hopefully they'll have the opportunity to live in a brand new regenerative space that is part of the Living Building Challenge, which means that it is entirely regenerative to the environment. So it will collect its own rainwater and process its own waste and provide electricity for itself and then also the quad. So it's a revolutionary new space, and we're excited to break ground this coming year. Our application deadlines are January 15th for priority applicants and February 1st for standard applicants. And we look forward to getting to know you throughout the rest of the day. So thank you again for hosting us.
That's not a great entrance. It's great to be with you folks. My name is Soren Hessler. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions at Vanderbilt Divinity School. My colleague, Laura Heifetz, is also with me today. She's fielding some calls. She is the Assistant Dean of Admissions, Vocation, and Student Life, and handling some of those student life issues back on campus, even from afar. So we are Vanderbilt Divinity School. We are in the heart of Nashville. We're 3 blocks from Music Row. We are in the heart of a large research university in the middle of a national arboretum. We have 10 concentrations. We have 5 joint degree programs: medicine, law, business, nursing, human development. There are a lot of opportunities to cross-pollinate across the institution. Applications to our school are also, like Yale, an application for merit-based aid, and our merit scholarships go anywhere from 30% of tuition all the way up to full tuition. We have 6 large research centers that are also doing wonderful work on campus. We have a program for moral leadership in the professions. So thinking about how folks in other parts of professional life out in the world, business, medicine, law, those other places that I mentioned before, are thinking about moral leadership and doing partnership work on campus. The Carpenter program in religion, gender, and sexuality is one of the oldest programs at a research university, Divinity School, thinking about gender, sexuality, and sexual orientation as it intersects with religious identity and public leadership. We also have an Institute for Black Church Studies, which is also one of the oldest programs in the country at a Divinity School. And we have a program in public theology and racial justice, a program also in arts and contemporary culture, and the Wayland Cook program in religion and justice. So we're also thinking a lot, you're hearing justice in several of those places. We're interested a lot in thinking about how we have a justice-oriented approach to theological education. So your formation at Vanderbilt is really about how do you go out and meet the world, but also be formed in the work that you're wanting to do so that you can do that well and be doing that in the context of community. Our sort of tagline, the School of the Prophets, you'll see it all over our swag outside, and it's chiseled into the stone on the outside of the school. That's not a new motto for us. That's something that's been around for over 100 years. The school positions itself as a place doing work out in the world and preparing folks for work in the community, and that's not something we're doing that new. That is how we've been doing things for a while. We're so glad to be with you today. Very grateful for the invitation to be here. Happy to answer any of your questions outside as well.
Hi everybody, thanks for being here. I'm Anita Lumpkin, Dean of Students and Associate Dean for Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Chicago Divinity School. At the Div School at Chicago, we consider ourselves the home of the academic study of religion. And what that means is our pedagogical philosophy is a little bit different from my colleagues represented here. At Chicago, we take seriously the critical inquiry and the rigorous engagement of the study of religion. So if you think about placing the principles of the scientific method onto the humanistic field and study of religion, that's what the University of Chicago education is, and that's what you get at the Divinity School. We have two main programs at the master's level: a Master of Arts, which is a 2-year PhD preparation program. And if you're thinking about PhD education in religion, you should really be thinking about Chicago. Secondly is our MDiv program, which is a 3-year program for students preparing for all sorts of public religious leadership in different capacities. Our MDiv and Chicago in general is a multi-religious place, and so if you're thinking, what is it like to do an MDiv in a multi-religious context? We take seriously that it's important to be smart about religion in every context. And in order to do that, you need to have colleagues at your table that don't believe the same things that you believe, that are going to challenge your ideas, your motivations, call out your biases, and you get to interrogate other religious practices. So you're doing this cohort experience deeply together with folks who do not believe the same thing as you do. And we believe that that makes you a better religious leader, that makes you a better scholar. We lead the scholarship at the University of Chicago. So even if you are coming to do an MDiv, you're doing this deep, rigorous academic work in addition to leadership formation. And the cool thing about that is that you get to decide, you get to come with your own conception of ministry. We don't have one for you. And so if you want to serve in a church, we can help you do that. But if you say, I feel called to work with women or work with different sorts of marginalized populations, the beauty of Chicago is that there is all sorts of activity there. There's all different kinds of populations of people who need support, and the University of Chicago will be there to help you form the leadership experience that you want to have. We've been investing a lot, as Yale has, into making graduate education more affordable, especially at the master's level. Our PhD program is fully funded for 7 years. And so we've invested a lot, over the tune of $11 million into financial aid and making our scholarships very competitive at the master's level. Students are funded for the life of the program, whether that's 2 years for the MA, 3 years for the MDiv, and then we also provide stipends for the MDivs when you are getting ready to do your year-long field placement year in the second year. Like some other folks, we have joint degrees with law, public policy, and social work. And so if you want to inform your ministry practice with a professional practice in those.
You have full tuition, scholarship awards with merit, and need-based scholarships and offer support as well for living expenses. And you know, I would love to meet and speak with every single one of you and answer your questions about union. We're a place where we really support the discernment of each of our students, and so we're really interested in learning about you and thinking about what kind of experience you would want, but always as because of our commitment to the work of justice. So thank you so much.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, in particular to Dean Guidry and Mr. Jaquel for all of your help. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you again for your time. I know that it is midterm week for you all. I'm Alessandra Ludeking. I'm the admissions officer at Harvard Divinity School. I've been with Harvard Divinity School for a little bit over a year, and I was previously an admissions officer at Harvard Law School. Harvard is often a term that conjures a lot of thoughts and preconceived notions. I know I had them when I first heard about our campus, when I first became an administrator there. And I think oftentimes Harvard has sort of a reputation for being this institution that is aloof, that's prestigious, that may be snobby, maybe our professors are wearing tweed jackets. But when I came to Harvard Divinity School, I encountered something completely different. It was truly a place that felt so warm, so kind. People really brought themselves and opened up who they were. They shared who they were. They made themselves vulnerable to each other in their courses. And they talked about subjects that are oftentimes ignored in our classes today. I want to break down the 3 terms of what Harvard Divinity School means. At Harvard, we're really in the pursuit of truth, of veritas. This is a place where you bring your questions, where you bring your reflections, where you bring your passions and your interests, and you interrogate those with us. You interrogate those alongside your classmates, alongside your professors. You're not just there to learn, but you're there to grow and to offer those around you your wisdom, your experiences. Harvard is not a place that is for others. It's a place where you belong as you are. So that's the term Harvard. The second term is divinity. Divinity is such an important part of our identity. We are a non-sectarian institution of religious and theological studies. So this means we do not affiliate with any particular religious tradition. So just like the University of Chicago, we do pride ourselves on being academically rigorous. And we invite you, in the context of a divinity school that is non-sectarian, to bring your spirituality, your religious traditions, your religious faiths, or lack thereof. We have over 45 religious traditions, or lack thereof, represented in our student body. We have over 500 weekly or yearly recurring worship services. We have over 20 student-led events every week. It is a place where you will be sitting next to somebody who may be a Jewish individual, somebody in front of you who may be a Muslim individual, somebody beside you who might practice white plum asanga, who may be a Taoist. You're going to be exposed to a rich fabric of religious diversity, and you're going to share your experiences, whatever those may be, and again, take those that you get from others beside you. So this is our divinity identity. You bring your spiritual selves, your full selves, your soul, your essence, and you talk about those freely at HDS. And then finally, the third aspect is school. This is a place that is set apart for you to come and to be free to explore your intellectual interests. So if you have a passion for religious Caribbean histories and you want to explore how psychedelics and the impacts of psychedelic would work with that, you can absolutely do it. There is nothing out of bounds with your interests. If you have passions in music, in poetry, in art, religion, climate justice, government, hospital chaplaincy, medical, anything, you bring that to Harvard Divinity School and we support you. So those are the three identities that I wanted to identify at HDS. We do have 4 degree programs, and I can chat with you all about that. We have very generous institutional grant aid as well. I'm more than happy to chat with you about that. But before I go, I did want to ask one question, or a few. How many of you are 4th year or seniors? You could raise your hand. Okay, great. How many of you are 3rd years, juniors? Okay. Any 2nd year students in here? All right. Great. So before I go, I want to plug one program in particular that we offer at Harvard Divinity School. It is unique. Every year over the summer, we launch an application where we invite you to apply. And if you're selected as one of 40 participants, we fly you in, we put you up in a hotel, we feed you your meals, and it's a 3-day immersive experience about Harvard Divinity School. And it's called Diversity and Explorations, DivX. This is a program where you come to explore the possibilities. You don't need to be certain about what you want to do when you graduate. You don't need to be certain that you're interested in religious studies. This is a place where you come to explore and where you come to be with others who have a shared appreciation and openness to the concept of religion and theological studies, and to transforming themselves and bringing their full selves. It's an emotionally intense 3 days, really wonderful, and I would honestly say life-changing. So please do consider applying to that program, and hopefully I'll get to learn a little bit more about you through that process. Come talk to us. I'd love to meet each and every single one of you, and thank you again for your time.